Last time we made it safely through the notorious sandbanks and arrived at the beautiful Ilha do Mel. But that was only the beginning. Today I'm picking up two good friends, Vinny and Lucas, as we prepare for what could be one of the most unique passages of Yabá's entire journey up the Brazilian coast. Our destination lies deep within the largest continuous stretch of Atlantic Rainforest in the world. And to get there, we'll be navigating the Varadouro Canal. This narrow, shallow waterway was completed in 1952 to connect the estuaries of Paraná and Sao Paulo, creating an inland route that made coastal trade far more efficient. Even today though, very few sailors choose to make this passage. Much of the route is still poorly charted. Sandbanks shift constantly, channel markers can be confusing, and in many places we'll be relying on drone footage, tracks shared by friends who've done it before, and a good dose of teamwork to find our way. The landscapes waiting for us are unlike anything we've seen so far. Towering rainforest, winding rivers, and deserted anchorages. This is one of the most beautiful and untouched parts of the Brazilian coast. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and come along for what promises to be one of the most unique sailing routes on the Brazilian coast. Today Yabá is going on a trip that has been on my bucket list for a while. We've gone past it 2, 3, or even 4 times. But today we're going to do it thanks to Vinny, who has done it many times. The crew today is going to be Vinny and Lucas. You know Vinny from Imperity when I went to go and pick up the Delta anchor, and you know Lucas, of course, from the shipyard. Now Vinny though has done this channel, which is the Varadouro Channel, 3 times. And the reason why I've never done it before is that it is not easy. It is easy.
It's pretty shallow actually, but...
Yeah, and we've calculated on the map that some parts are like 20-30 meters wide.
Yeah, it's like a river.
It's a river, an estuary.
Yeah. Plan is to go up here, pass through these shallow waters here, anchor around here for today, and then the next days we're gonna go this way in this very narrow, like a river. So this is a connection made, it's a man-made thing like 100 years ago, and connects 2 estuaries from Paraná state and São Paulo state. So
and then that's the easy bit, because we're going to come out here and then we've got about 24 hours sailing up to Ilhabela and then continue on to Perito. We have to go based on tide, rising tides, to not get stuck. If we get stuck, not a problem, we just wait for the next high tide. And just so you guys know, we have 90 centimeters to a meter of draft, so we should be good. And it's a long keel, so shouldn't get damaged. It's really cool to have these guys on board. Vinny's got loads of sailing experience, and Lucas is a very keen hand on deck, so it's the first time he's going to be lifting anchor, which is going to be right now. And this is a farewell to our time in Honey Island, or on Honey Island, Ilha do Mel. The beaches of Ilha do Mel over here, the waters, the scenery, it's another one of those moments that make me feel like, is this what the first people saw when they came and discovered continents like this? Just a horizon full of mountains, flat waters, sandbanks. That's the thing, so many sandbanks here that we're avoiding thanks to modern charting technology, but back then they would arrive and just have to, who knows? You know, on a chart, or at least on a plotter, white is like very, very deep, you're fine. Then you got light blue, and you got dark blue, which is shallow, and you got green, which is practically like you're on your own. We're not going to guide you past this moment, and that moment, that's where we are arriving now. So we might soon already, it's quite clean here, so we might soon be able to see the ground. No, but at some point we'll have to slow it down a bit. It is super, super low tide now, which is good. You don't want to arrive at high tide, even though you might think, oh, but we'll have more water under us. No, if you get stuck at high tide, you're screwed, because the only thing that's going to happen is water's going to drain out from around you and you're just going to get stuck. If you get stuck at low tide or at a rising tide, you just wait for the tide to rise and you're free. So that's our plan. If we get stuck, it's his fault. We are now officially in the hands of fate and destiny. We have no more chart to guide us, except for a red line, but no more depth, no more contours, nothing. Just green and our own instinct. Still 3.5 meters deep, but I think that might change. We're staying. There are markers, right? Poles?
No, sometimes. No. Usually no.
Well, we'll see. When you get stuck, reverse out and try another way. It is so crazy. It is the lowest tide now. You can see the sandbanks all around us. We're just following a track from a friend of ours who had already done it. You can see another massive sandbank over there. But I think it would be a very cool idea to get the drone up to give you guys. Oh my gosh, there's those red birds. They're called guaras. Beautiful. Anyway, let's get this drone up. And even I want to see this from far. We're at this point where we're so close to land that Caio's like hesitant on like, should I go for a swim now? Should I just swim to land as we're so close? Now leaving the green part in the water, which is practically the uncharted bits. Luckily we have some waypoints that were given to us by a friend, so we could could really just follow the route that he did, and I know the draft on his boat is a lot deeper. So now we are leaving this little estuary. They're all estuaries. I can't even pronounce it. Arriving at Pine Island. A nickname for it is Parrot Island because there used to be loads and loads of parrots. We'll see if we can get to spot any of them. It's really nice to be out of the windy shallows and out into the big open again. It's a really little inlet, a little bay over there. I don't know if you can see, it's just about appearing. We're going to just anchor in that. We found a little beach or an abandoned house on the other side where we can bring the dogs later. I think there'll be a lot of fishing potential over here. Well, in my case, it's fishing potential for other people, and for me, it's just, we'll see. It'll be cool if we can catch something. You made it. First leg out of, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 maybe?
Yeah.
2, 3.
3 days.
Nice. Let's eat, catch fish, walk the dogs, sleep well, and tomorrow 8 a.m. 8 en la mañana. De la mañana vamos a salir.
Vale.
It's been good because we've had lots of parties on the island, and now it's kind of detox. Okay, in. Okay, também. Okay. Olha aqui. Olha aqui. Had a nice hot shower after having the engine on. Too hot even, I had to turn the cold tap on. And what's really cool about these places, and I'm only starting to be able to imagine what this sunset's going to look like with those hills in the back, but there is no one. If you look where we are on the map, it's like you're not going to come here with a speedboat and play loud music and zoom around with jet skis. These type of places are just super special. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing epic just like we are. especially the dogs now that they've gone for their morning walk. Today we are going to do the strip. It's only like 15 miles, but it's going to be the narrowest and the shallowest strip. I've heard of people doing it in boats with like a 1.5, 1.7 meter draft. However, you'll see, you'll get stuck a lot. Even us with 1 meter, we'll have to see how this is going to go. I'm quite excited. I'm very excited for this bit. It's going to be beautiful, especially with the boat navigating through some very narrow estuaries. But yeah, quick morning walk. We've had couscous and eggs that Vinny made for us. We've got a big pot of coffee waiting for when I'm back. Then all we're going to do is lift the dinghy and head off. It's very, very misty now, or at least, what do you call it? Yeah, morning mist. But that should be gone soon because the sun's coming up. Look at this place. Listen to this place. Not a noise. This morning we got woken up with all the parrots leaving the island. Like loads. But now it's just peace. Just as I said, it was getting misty. We cannot even see the island we were anchored next to. So anchor's going up now. What we're going to do is we're going to navigate electronically. At least we'll have the radar on. And soon when the sun's a bit higher, this mist should disappear. After carefully creeping our way through the thick fog, it finally began to clear. We could pick up our speed again and continue towards our next anchorage, the isolated village of Maruja, a place with a fascinating history that we'll discover in a little bit.
Cantarolar o sopro do mar, se aventurar nas preces daqui. Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã. Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã. Cantarolar sopro do mar. Se aventurar nas preces daqui. Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã. Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã.
Distance from here to 1 meter depth, 30 meters on that side, and the other side isn't much better. So it took a while for me to actually get filming because I'm quite nervous. But then again, why would you live with the anxiety and anticipation instead of just living the moment? Like, just live the moment until you get stuck. Don't anticipate getting stuck. Does that make sense? We'll see. Still, we're doing 5.4 knots. Let's see how hard we get stuck. It is high tide now, which isn't ideal. Which means that if we get stuck, we have to wait until like another 12, 14 hours. But it's super cool. This view is just spectacular. Anyway, Vinny's up there teaching Lucas the basic knots over there. I thought that was a sandbank, but it's not. Is it? I don't think so. E aí, Marujos?
E aí? Tô ensinando uns nós.
You might be able to tell, but we're about to go into the narrowest part of this whole journey. It's quite a zigzaggy thing because we're all trying to go based on the chart plotter and the waypoints that our friends from Arandu sent us. They do have the deeper draft, so we are following that. 1.7, 1.6. I think that if we get stuck, it's in, I don't know. So far. We only need 1 meter draft. We reach 1.6, but 2 meters is more than enough clearance. So you can see here the waypoint from the previous people, our friends who did it. As long as we just follow that exact line, they didn't get stuck with more draft. This is the place where you said you had to stick against the bank.
Yeah.
I could have jumped from the boat onto the sand at that moment. Our next stop is Maruja, one of the traditional caiçara communities scattered throughout Ilha do Cardoso. Fewer than 100 people live here year-round, surrounded by one of the best preserved stretches of Atlantic Rainforest in Brazil. For generations, life here has revolved around the sea. Fishing is still the community's main livelihood throughout the year, while during the summer months, visitors arrive to experience this incredible place, making tourism an important second source of income. What I find especially impressive is how little has changed. There are no roads connecting Maruja to the mainland, no cars driving to the village, and almost everything and everyone arrives by boat. The pace of life here is completely different. The village sits inside Ilha do Cardoso State Park, where around 90% of the island is protected. Mangroves, rivers, beaches, dunes, and dense Atlantic rainforest exist all side by side, creating one of the richest ecosystems anywhere on the Brazilian coast. It's places like this that remind you why traveling by boat is so special. Many people visit Brazil's famous beaches, but very few ever get to experience communities like Maruja, where the nature and traditional caiçara life still exist as they have for generations. We had a very quick look onto this island, this little strait over here, which is called Maruja. And funnily enough, we also learned it wasn't an island initially, it was connected. It was a peninsula. And practically where we are now, maybe a bit further, it was connected by land. They decided to manually dig out that last little strait to connect the bay where we came from, which was Paranagua, to the next bay where we're heading today, just to make the trade a lot better, so you can go from port to port without having to go around and out into the sea. So the next place we're going to go to is just a quick pit stop to walk the dogs and go and see a waterfall, and then we're going to head over to our last resting place before going on I'd say about 30 hours, a 30-hour trip out at sea, which we're very much looking forward to, even though this is very, very beautiful. Well, I wish we had more time to do this. There's so many things we didn't see. It's so beautiful. There's so many little islands and little creeks we can head into. But we have a destination in mind, which is heading up the coast. But even though this was super, super calm, super nice, calm night, beautiful sceneries and quiet, we do miss a bit of wind and sea. So they're weighing anchor over there at the front, engines on, and we're going to start heading. It's only like a mile, maybe 2 miles to the next place. Engage forwards a bit so tension relieves. And yeah, I can't show you guys this waterfall. I don't know if you can see how warm I am dressed, because it is pretty cold for my standards. 17 degrees, and that waterfall is just going to be even colder. But I'm looking forward to it loads. It's a very muddy bottom here, as you can imagine, as it's kind of like a channel, a little canal. So the anchor sits really, really deep with the current pulling against the boat. Tá solto? The anchor is not coming loose, which isn't a good thing. Hopefully we're not stuck on anything. Sounds good. In Florianopolis, we lost an anchor this way, it just wouldn't come loose, so we kept trying and trying and trying until the shackles snapped. I see. It is so nice doing these trails in autumn and winter because you don't get anyone. I'm pretty sure these type of places, especially the infrastructure of them, they're like made for tourists. So if you go in the summer, you're going to be having nods to everyone, say hi, share the waterfall at the end. In these cases, I think I might even be the only one swimming because these two think it's going to be too cold. Water is scarce on a boat, and when you come across a waterfall with a little, what is it, swimming pool, a pool, a natural pool, I like making use of it. It'll be nice and cold and wake you up. Vai nadar? You swim?
No.
Eu vou nadar assim. Olha. That was epic. I've had my shower for the week and there's something I've never done before, and I made one of these to leave behind for the next person to come and destroy. As refreshing as that swim was, it was time to get back to Yabá and weigh anchor for the final leg of this incredible journey. Honestly, I don't think words can do this place justice. The scenery, the silence, the wildlife, it's unlike anywhere I have ever sailed before. With the hardest sections behind us, we confidently followed the last winding miles of the Varadouro Canal towards our final anchorage on Ilha do Cardoso, where we'd spend one last peaceful night before heading back out into the open ocean. Next stop, Ilha Bela. So if you enjoyed coming along on this adventure, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps supporting the channel. It's completely free and there are many more miles, anchorages and adventures waiting just up the coast. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã. Cantarolar o sopro do mar, se aventurar nas preces daqui. Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã. Lá vem o sol, o pai da manhã.